What is up, folks? Welcome to the latest episode of the Harold McBasketball Show. I'm your gracious host, as always, Harold McBasketball, along with my co-host, I know Ball Paul. Paul, we're 1 week into the NBA season now. How are you? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Yeah. Been loving watching basketball. Something that's happened in our real lives is that I walked away from our fantasy league. It is now a 12 team league down from a 14 team league. it was just taking up way too much of my I don't know. I was just thinking about it way too much. I was watching just all the player analysis videos every day. I'm checking the injury report, and I was like, you know what? Let me take a year off, especially because I'm in France, and the games tip off at 1 a.m. So anyway, that being said, I've been able to enjoy watching the games, kind of through a new lens. I'm kind of finding my love for basketball again. Not that I lost it, but not stressing over whether a player is making or missing a shot has felt nice.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting mental gymnastic, trying to watch objectively, but also playing fantasy. Because every now and then I do find myself seeing guys who are performing really well at the start of the year, and I'm like, wow, I kind of hope they start sucking, so it doesn't feel like I missed this guy in fantasy. So there's a little bit of like a subversion of reality required, but I feel like I've been doing a good job of it this year, though. I'm trying to fantasy's on the back burner for this year. Priority is podcast, basketball, and my God, what a start to the basketball year. I feel like this has got to be one of the more interesting first weeks of a basketball season since like the Jazz started like 10-0 that random season. Because kind of like looking at the standings, looking at players who are popping off, looking at averages, I think I saw a stat that this season it's like there's been twice as many 40 and 50-point games in the first week, pretty much ever. It's like we just have never seen this level of like offensive explosion from the elite guys in the league. So it's been eye-popping. It's been awesome. And the whole point of this episode is just to overreact to all of it, get super hype about teams that are doing well, players who are doing well, get super down on the bad teams right now and have fun with it. So, is there anyone that you want to start with, Paul? Any teams or players that you think are worthy of kicking us off here?
Um, yeah, well, I kind of broke this down into teams that have been overperforming and then kind of the performers of the league. I think maybe we start on more of a positive note. Um, Everyone's been overreacting, by the way, to the start of this season, and I know we're here to kind of do the same thing, but I think a
Hell
lot of
yeah.
this video might be me saying, guys, like let's maybe stop overreacting to this. Maybe a good place to start is the Sixers.
Good, good. They were my first team too. I've got like four overreactions for this team.
I think I'll be here to kind of say let's not overreact too much. But first, I think I need to eat crow. Is that the saying?
That is the saying, yes.
Edgecombe was someone that I was pretty outspoken about being just, I think, a tad overrated heading out of the draft.
You had him so low. You had him
I
as like barely a lottery pick.
I think I had him, yeah, maybe 11th or 12th. I mean, it's the video is up. He's looked insane. I don't know. I'm not doubling down. Obviously, he's looked far better than expected, and his athleticism, his three-point shooting has all been ridiculous. But I think there will be a bit of a regression to the mean. He's had so much opportunity there with the Sixers. The minutes he's getting are ridiculous. So, like per 36, he's averaging 20 points. That's insane. But, I think the stats look a bit inflated because he's shooting more efficiently than I think he will be later on, and because he's getting so many minutes.
Yeah, I was think the Edgecombe thing is more about just like how he looks, because like clearly he's just a star immediately. And
Mm.
like, even if the stats go down, like he's averaging what, 22, 5 and 5 right now. Unreal. I saw a stat that he had the most points in his first NBA game since Wilt Chamberlain, which I think is just the most absurd stat I have ever heard. And it's an eyeball test. Like the guy's clearly incredible, insane athlete, super good slasher. The shot is a bit better than expected. That is something that could regress a bit, but he's clearly just got it. And the offense with him and Maxi is just the fastest offense in the league. So he's awesome. Yeah, I'm super high on him, as is everybody else right now. And yeah, the Sixers really saved their franchise with this like tanking season they had and getting him. They're still in this super weird spot now where they have the corpses of Embiid and Paul George on the roster. Don't know what they're gonna do about that, like with these two old injured guys and the young Maxey and Edgecombe, but Edgecombe looks ridiculous.
Edgecombe,
He's looking like rookie of the year right now for sure.
yeah. I still think I'm not ready to pencil him in as a star. I'm not ready to pencil him in as rookie of the year.
I'm
Uh,
there. I'm there. I'm overreacting. I think it's done. I'm with it. He's so
I'm
good.
underreacting, and I think I'm also being a bit stubborn because of what I said in the preseason. But especially watching that first game against the Celtics, that it was it was tough for me. I was like, God damn, just in my face against my team. Um, I can't hate the guy. He's very entertaining to watch. But I think there'll be a slight regression. Yeah, and it's extra hard because some of the other rookies I was super high on have not touched the court yet, but they will, guys. They will, and they will prove I know ball Paul right.
All right. All right. Yeah, there's kind of like a couple overreactions we have the Sixers team because like the first one is yeah, Edgecombe looks insane. The second one is they're 4-0. So it's very easy to overreact and be like, oh my God, the Sixers are gonna be really good this year, even though most people had them like way outside of even the play in. Like I think both of us probably had them probably around like 11 or 12. Just assuming like Max would be great, but there's really nothing else on this team. But 4-0 right now. That doesn't appear to be the case. They appear to be really good right now. Probably an overreaction, but they're looking great. I mean, the other overreaction is like watching Embiid play. He just looks beyond cooked. That looks like it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough seeing Embiid out there. Just the ball he doesn't touch the ball on some possessions. Um, it's cool that he's out there, but it is funny how Maxey and Edgecombe will just be playing a two-man game on the other side of the court, and Embiid's kind of just yeah, stand.
He'll barely get up the court. Yeah, it's like I don't think I've seen him sprint once yet this season. He'll kind of just like lethargically get up to about like mid-court, sometimes get in the high post, not be able to make any moves, usually pass out of it. He's only playing 20 minutes per game. It almost feels like there's some kind of like acknowledgement where it's just not there. They're going to put him in. He's not demanding for the ball. He's not like acting upset that they're not playing through him. I almost think it's just understood that the team right now is very quickly just pivoting to Maxey and Edgecombe. Embiid's contract effectively untradeable. So you just have to eat it for the time being in hopes that maybe there's some kind of recovery process here and that after enough time the knees go back to normal. But in all likelihood, it's probably more so one of those things where he's just gonna be like a low minutes kind of guy who still might be useful and fun to have. And luckily Edgecombe's on a rookie contract, so they can't afford to wait that out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Embiid averaging 16 points in just over 20 minutes, um, compared to Maxey's 38 points in
That's the other
40.
other overreaction is Tyrese Maxey MVP, best player in the league. What is
Yeah.
happening?
I mean, he's a minutes merchant. I think he led the league last year in total,
Mm.
or in minutes average per game, and he's once again averaging 43 minutes through those first four games. Yeah, 37 and a half points, with eight assists to go along with that. Maxi's awesome, and he's someone I wish I mentioned, I guess, more in the offseason. He's someone I've always been super high on. I love his energy, and yeah, it's cool that the team is kind of transitioning towards him because I think he is a fantastic player, a great energy guy, and Embiid
Great energy
is,
guy.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's very much the opposite, I think, of the vibes Embiid had brought with peace and love.
Yeah. Yeah, it is fascinating how different of a vibe the offense is when they're playing through Embiid versus the new Maxi Edgecombe offense. Just they play entirely differently. And Max is so interesting because he was almost underrated for a little while, just because naturally he was playing second slash third fiddle to Embiid and PG. He was a late first round draft pick, so he didn't really have the pedigree of being a highly touted college prospect. So naturally, those guys have to earn it a little bit more to get to that like all-star superstar status. But yeah, he's also a guy just like watching this season. It's like clearly he's just there now, which is a jump that I actually didn't even know he was going to be capable of making. Like I kind of thought he was going to be like, this guy is like a couple time all-star, but I was not expecting him to hit this leap where all of a sudden he looks like a guy that's going to be like, you know, first team all NBA potentially, 10-time all-star. And we're only 4 games into the season. Anything can happen. Maybe this is like an aberration, but it's looking really legit. And he's always been really good. We're just seeing with the usage now and it's all really coming together. So, yeah, this guy's legit. This guy's insane.
All that being said, I think the Sixers are going to drop off in a pretty big way. I think they're going to miss the playoffs. I think this is a complete fluke. So I'm
I agree.
reacting in the complete
Yes.
opposite way. The shooting numbers are unsustainable, and obviously the roster just isn't there. I mean, in a perfect world, if Paul George comes back healthy and Embiid can kind of keep progressing, this roster is decent. But in the real world where Paul George and Embiid miss time and aren't healthy, this roster is pretty depleted. I know there's Quentin Grimes, there's Oubre who always kind of starts the season off super hot and kind of regresses. But yeah, outside of that, I don't know. Adam Bona's okay, and I don't even know who else. Maybe Jabari Walker.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right that as the season goes on, this will not be sustainable. And like they had like a 19-point comeback win against the Wizards the other day, and it's like, wow, like that's super fun, but more often than not, that's gonna be a loss to a Wizards team that has been spunky, and we might talk about them a bit later, but it's still not a good team. So it's like I think they've taken advantage of hot shooting and a very bad Eastern Conference right now, but I also expect this to fall off. Great, I do think now they'll probably end higher than expected. I do think that they could be like play-in status. They could definitely be like the eighth seed or something like that. But undefeated Sixers right now at the top of the East, like it's just not gonna happen. They're not gonna be there.
Yeah, nearly 48% from three, Tyrese Maxey, 43% for VJ Edgecombe. Considering his college stats, I expect a big dip there. And then, yeah, kind of like you mentioned, they've been playing the East team, starting with the Celtics. I think they saw the Hornets, the Wizards, um, and yeah, another Eastern Conference team that wasn't.
Yeah, the second they hit their Western Conference road trip, they're gonna be screwed. They're gonna get cooked.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we're happy for Philly fans. Not really, but it's
Yeah, we're not happy for them, but we do like these players. Like Maxey is impossible not to like. So I do like Maxey. I'll never root for the Sixers, of course, but he's electric to watch.
and those contracts are so brutal with Embiid and Paul George. I think you've got 4 years left of Paul George, with a 3+1, and I think Embiid is a 2+1.
Yeah, it's such a fascinating thing because it almost does feel like now it's like wow, it's like Maxey and Edgecombe are so good. It's like they should be in a real position to contend immediately. But it almost feels like they have to wait out the Embiid and PG contracts, as I mentioned, because no one's going to trade for those. But like, are you willing to essentially waste the next 3 to 4 years of Maxey and Edgecombe? That feels absurd. So you got to talk about potentially moving off those contracts. How do you do that? How many unprotected first round picks have to be attached to Embiid or Paul George to have a team accept them? I don't know, but I think it would be multiple. Like if you're a tanking team right now, let's say you're God, what's tough though is like a lot of the tanking teams are like trying to get better right now. We kind of need like a new era of tanking teams to be ushered through, but like, I don't know, two unprotected, three unprotected to take on those deals. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and in today's second apron world, those contracts are just brutal, brutal, brutal. They must take up, I don't know, 15-20% of the cap. So anyway, it's looking good, but it's also there's kind of that overarching
Yeah.
darkness that still looms over over Philadelphia. So
Yeah, the Sixers can at least be like a little bit excited. Whereas like
yeah.
going into the season, it really felt like they were completely screwed and we're gonna have just like the most desolate team for the next 4 years. There's some light there. It's like I don't really know how they harness it, but there's something there. There's a spark of life. But anyway, that's the Sixers. They're fascinating right now. I imagine there'll be a pretty big storyline throughout the season.
Should we transition to the other team that's undefeated in the Eastern Conference?
Oh yeah, we want to talk Chicago Bulls right now.
I wouldn't mind talking Chicago Bulls.
All right, all right. Let me go first. The first thing I want to say is, and it's kind of a victory lap for both of us, but as we said, Josh Giddey's a really good player. We were telling everybody this. Nobody believed us. I feel like this trade is like a steal for them. It's like I would way rather have Josh Giddey than Caruso. Caruso is a better fit for the Thunder, so I think it's a fine move. But like looking at it right now, the Bulls win this trade 1000%. Like the value that they got out of Alex Caruso is ridiculous. Like Josh Giddey is playing like an all-star right now in a depleted East. If he keeps up his stats, then the Bulls can, even be 500 by all-star break. He will be an all-star. Let's see. He's currently averaging, I've got his stats in front of me somewhere.
I have him
I don't,
here.
I don't know where I put them. You got them? Oh, I
Yeah.
got them. Okay, yeah. So what? About 19 and a half points per game, 7.8 assists, 8.5 rebounds, 43% from three, which will probably drop off. Like that's like, and that's low volume, but we kind of talked about the 3-point shooting too this offseason, where we were saying that, it's like he can hit him. I think he was shooting about 37% from three last year on low volume. And like, that's all he needs is just be like a little bit respectable from three and it opens up everything else. And the offense has looked surprisingly good. His passing has been awesome. It's opened up a ton for them. Vooch, still there, playing great. And then I know you've got some notes about Buzelis, but Buzelis has also been really nice to watch this year.
Yeah, Buzella seems to have taken the leap we expected from him, but it's been really the Giddy show. Um, like you said, the 3-point shooting, man, I've been kind of zoned in on the Bulls, and he's taking, they're not the wide open shots I think that he was making last year. He is taking like slightly tougher, more contested shots, and so far he's converting them at a high clip. Um, I love watching Giddy play. I love just the guys that make the swing pass, that just sometimes make the easy pass and let kind of the next guy do their thing. His touch is incredible. Just the kind of the little float game, the bump and the finishes. Um, he's so underrated, and like we talked about in our hot takes episode, that $25 million contract that is fixed, that's not increasing year by year,
Such a steal.
is such a steal. They're obviously a team I expect to kind of falter a bit, but I think they're legit in the sense that they will be a playoff team. Um, their bench looks nice. Trey Jones looks nice. Huerter looks nice. Jalen Smith might have been against the Magic. I forget who, but he looked really good. I know he's not a guy that gets a ton of minutes, but I was impressed by
Yeah.
Jalen Smith. Patrick Williams even had some moments where I was like, damn, okay, is he like, is there something
Can he
there?
be, yeah, can he be a valid role player? Is that possible for Patrick Williams this year?
It looks like it, but things are definitely clicking early for the Bulls, and it's without Kobe White too. So that'll be interesting when he's back.
Yeah, it's nice to see them finally pick a direction because like that was the whole issue with the Bulls is they were just treading water for so long. They had these fine pieces like DeMar, Levine, Vooch, kind of like pseudo fake all-stars that like never really are all-stars. We're kind of close to that statistically, but it never worked. The defense sucked. The team never had any identity, no cohesiveness. So finally, last season, they essentially move off those guys. And it's a bit of like addition by subtraction because Levine and DeMar, incredible statistically, like they don't have guys putting up the same stats as those guys, but this is just a better team. They have an actual offense they can run now, and it's pretty nice. Giddy opens up everything. I think they're third in assist rate on the season. And that's what this team's all about. They're making a lot of really good passes. The defense has been like pretty good so far. I think that's a little bit due to the schedule. I do expect this defense to suck. Like that will change. If Vucevic is your starting center, like you're probably not gonna be very good on defense. But this team is exciting. They finally have a direction. The young guys look good. So Chicago's got something to root for.
I think they might have the number one, oops, they might have the number one rated defense
That's hilarious.
so far this season in terms of defensive rating.
Yeah,
Or they're
yeah.
third. They're third, obviously,
Okay, okay, yeah.
behind the Thunder and the Spurs. That's obviously, I think, in large part due to their schedule.
Very much
That should
so.
taper off, especially with Kobe White coming back. But yeah, the Bulls have been pleasantly surprising. But yes, they will drop off, not as dramatically as the Sixers, I think, but they will drop off.
Yeah, and they beat the Kings recently too, which is kind of nice because like they essentially they beat their old selves, which was very poetic. And very hilarious. The Kings are not on my agenda to talk about, but like they are the new Bulls now, and it's very funny.
They're what we thought they would be. So there's not too much, I guess, to say about the Kings. Hilarious that they signed Russell Westbrook. Like,
Yeah, that's
very,
great.
very
He's
stupid.
hilarious. Schroeder's hilarious on that team. Just hilarious roster. Pure comedy.
The last thing I'd say is that Noah Asenge, I guess his name is pronounced Asenge. This whole time I've been saying Asong.
News to me. Yep. And you're our French experts. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, but yeah, he has not touched the court yet. But let it be known I'm still very, very
He
high.
sucks.
I think I had him really high in my redraft, maybe fifth or sixth.
You didn't pay enough attention to his draft day outfit. That was just there was no chance.
But he's one of the youngest guys in his class, so it'll come with time. Billy Donovan's he's old school. He needs the rookies to be put in their place before he gives them the time. But we'll see in time. You will all see in time.
We'll see. My overreaction to him is that he's not good, so he's not playing.
Yeah. All right. Who would you like to talk about, Harry?
Let's see. There are a couple fun ones we can talk about. I'm gonna go with actually I think there's a pretty fun one. I'm gonna go with the Jazz right now, and more specifically, Lowry Markkanen. Pretty much my overreaction is like I'm pretty sure like Lowry Markkanen must have been paid off the books to take a dive last season. Because looking at his stats last year compared to this season are ridiculous. Like he was so bad last year. There's like horrible efficiency. He averaged, let's see, I've got it in front of me. So last season he was averaging 19 points per game in 31 minutes on 15 shots. This year he's averaging 34 points per game, 38 minutes, 22 shots per game. Essentially an 80% increase in his points per game, almost doubling. And I'm like, how does this happen? I'm like, I legitimately think there was a tank effort by the Jazz here to be like, take it easy this season, Lowry. Do whatever, take whatever shots you want. You don't have to try. But next season, after the Cooper Flag sweepstakes, you can go off. You can do whatever you want. And I think that's what's happening. I think it's crazy. He's been so good this season, so shout out him. But it almost doesn't make sense in my brain how he can go from the season he had last year to the season he's having this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think a version of that might have happened. Um, Yeah, watching him in Eurobasket play for Finland, I was kind of reminded how good of a player he was this offseason. And I think I had him ranked pretty high with kind of the asterisk that I thought the Jazz were going to suck and that it would be irrelevant, but they're off to a hot start. Um, I think, yeah, Lowry's a guy where you have to play his style of basketball. He's more of a cutter than a shooter, surprisingly. I mean, he has a great shot, but he loves to cut, he loves to drive and dish. And yeah, I don't know. I think last year he wasn't really doing that. I think the team wasn't helping him do that. I think a lot of times, maybe Walker Kessler was kind of clogging the paint a little bit too much. But um,
Kessler's also having a really nice year.
yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch the Jazz. They tend to be on late, but I took note of how well he's been playing, and I saw Bryce Sensabaugh had a couple nice games.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, a
your
couple
boy.
duds, but he has had some nice games, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, we are seeing Sensabaugh out there. And it's not, and that's kind of all I've got for the Jazz. Like they're still not great, so there's not a ton to talk about, but the Markkanen 80% increase in scoring has just been absurd.
How's Ace Bailey
Let's
doing?
see. Ace Bailey is not really playing right now, but apparently he was sick, so he's supposed to play more soon. They did say that they want to integrate him into the starting lineup at some point, but as of now, he's effectively not playing. So we'll see. We'll see. But he was a bit of a summer league darling.
And a preseason darling. He was yeah, he looked awesome in the preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. More. Do we want to transition to a more exciting team?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to everybody's darling, San Antonio Spurs. We have to talk about them. We had them very high in our rankings when we were doing the Western Conference,
You did.
and I did. I did. I will take credit for that. I think I had them third or fourth, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
I
I
had
wish I
him
had it in
like
front of me.
seventh or eighth, I think. You had him third or fourth.
Yeah, they're very much looking like the second or third best team in the West right now. Like Wemby's insane. The other overreaction here. Wemby is the GOAT. He is the greatest player ever. Watching that guy play, looking at his stats, he's just the best player to ever do it. He can do anything that a guard can do, but he does it at 7'5", and it's ridiculous. Like his stats are, let's see, he's averaging 31 points per game, 14 rebounds. Like the rebounding is also taking a huge leap this year where he's just getting everything. He's all of a sudden maybe the best glass cleaner in the league. He's averaging the 3 assists is fine. You get your buckets, my guy. And he's getting 5 blocks per game, which I don't know the pacing right now for the season, but I guarantee he's on pace right now for the most blocks ever in a season. He's probably going to do it as long as he stays healthy. It's just ridiculous stuff right now. And I think we all expected Wemby to be incredible going into the season. Maybe we didn't expect him to be MVP immediately, which is where it's trending right now. But the Spurs are also 4-0. The Spurs are looking really good. And it's kind of just because of Wemby. Like other people are playing nice. Like Castle's been solid for them, I would say. Very good. And Harper stepped up nicely without Fox. They're going without Fox right now. They're 4-0 and one of the best teams in the league. But really, it's very much been a group effort by the Spurs team and just utter domination by Wemby to push them to 4-0, and they look insane.
Yeah, the most fun team to watch, the most fun player to watch. It's just absurd. It feels absurd. It is absurd to see a guy of his stature doing what he does. The 360 layups, the pulling the three from like 5 feet behind the arc so casually, um and yeah, it's like it's amazing how quickly narratives change and how now it's now yeah, the GOAT debate, and then everyone's asking like yeah, he's in the GOAT debates now, and obviously people are kind of doing it a bit preemptively and are saying, okay, he's got to play this many seasons. We got to see, the availability and
That
everything.
stuff's dumb. I've seen enough. I've seen enough.
No, but I mean, they're right to say that a guy of his size might have some injury concerns or what have you, but um, the bottom line is his skill and what he's doing right now in his third NBA season has him in the GOAT debates. People are ready to start having that conversation and kind of, laying out what needs to happen for him to just be the undisputed GOAT. I've seen a TikTok with a guy ready to say he is the sports GOAT. He is the best to ever do it across any sport. So um,
I'm with that. Yeah, it's an interesting because like obviously it's like is he the GOAT? It's like oh, if you want to do the ESPN GOAT conversation where it's like oh how many MVPs does he have? How many finals does he have? It's like all right, obviously not, but like more so just like it's like I don't know. It's like you put prime LeBron in the league right now, you put Wemby in the league right now, you put prime MJ in the league right now. Who's the best player? Like Wemby's just gonna be the best player. He just is.
oh, it's crazy, but yeah, there's just, I might have to think on that one, but
How is he not? He's 7'5".
I don't
He does
know.
everything they do, but he's also just a foot taller.
No, it's true, and he's on pace. When you look at the games that he's played, and yeah, just he's the most physically gifted NBA player we've ever seen. And then he just happens to be extremely talented and hardworking and humble, and he's pretty good looking, and he's French, so
And
um,
hangs out with the monks. Like, he's
I'm ready to call him the GOAT. And
cool.
I'll
Let's do it.
bring it up again that before or maybe while he was playing in the summer league, you said he was the GOAT. And I was here saying, "Ah, man, I don't know. I think he'll be a multiple time All-Star." And you said it. You said, "No, I'm ready to flip the GOAT." So,
Yeah, I'm still there. He's still the GOAT. It just is what it is.
Dylan Harper looks awesome. I think
I like Harper. Yeah,
the No Dunks podcast, Trey Kirby compared him to Manu, which I thought was a fun comparison, where he's just really
that is fun.
crafty. He's the lefty. But I'm all for kind of invoking the vintage Spurs, those Spurs teams I love. So um,
Yeah, yeah, and Harper is like a classic Spurs guy where he just feels like he does all the right things out there. Where he's not like he's certainly not a ball hog. He's a very willing passer, but he plays defense. He gets rebounds. He's crafty with the ball in his hands. He does all the right things. He's like the perfect Spurs player, and it really feels like a lot of these guys on the Spurs team right now are that. It's crazy that they just get Fox back in like a week. It's a very weird thing where I'm like, do they want Fox back? Like things are just so perfect right now. Obviously, Fox is amazing and will make this team better, but I almost don't want to change anything. It just feels so beautiful right now.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have, as maybe Lowe said. But yeah, and our boy Luke Cornett is part of this beautiful team.
Yes.
But
God, I miss him so much right now. I miss Luke Cornett.
they are, yeah, they're by far the most entertaining team, and I think, you know, oh, you're frozen. No.
Yeah, I don't know who froze, but let's see. It very well may have been me.
Well, on my end,
Anyway,
it froze, but I'm sure
the,
on
the
your
yeah,
end.
the show must go on.
Uh, no, we're fine. I mean, we were just gushing over Wemby and the Spurs, and I think I was just about to say that, like, are the Spurs gonna win 60 games? I don't think so, but I think they will be around the 50 plus game mark, and I think they are probably a top three, top four team in the West. So I think you were on the money with that. I think, the Rockets have maybe gone more to the third, fourth spot, whereas I thought they might be competing for that second spot. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the Spurs have the big advantage too of being super young. So their guys are going to play every game. They're going to play the back-to-backs. They're not going to drop random games to rest people. And that naturally is going to propel them into like the 50 plus wins category. I can see them right like 55. That feels like a fair number. And like in a really hard West, that potentially could be maybe not the top seed. The Thunder just seem like again they will just maintain that. But yeah, it's like some kind of order. It feels like it's gonna be Spurs, Nuggets, Rockets. Right
uh,
now, it's been kind of like leaning Spurs to Nuggets three, Rockets four would be my take.
you said Nuggets three. Wait, say
Yeah,
that.
so yeah, Spurs two, Nuggets three, Rockets four would be where I lean.
Yeah, I think at this point, even if it's an overreaction, I would also lean that way. Um, Maybe we send a new link, but I wouldn't mind talking about the Rockets real quick because they've kind of been another special interest team of mine. As you guys know, Sangoon is my favorite player,
Okay,
excluding
let's do it.
Wemby. Wemby's too easy to say he's your favorite, but be right back.
All right, Paul, you want to talk Rockets?
I do want to talk Rockets a little bit. They're kind of my special interest team after ranking Sangoon 11th on my player rankings video. I've had to watch them to kind of validate myself. Um, and they're just a super interesting team. Obviously, Amen Thompson is a very highly rated player that people love. That I'm personally not as high on him as a lot of people, it seems. But, a super fun player. Reed Shepherd is someone that we were very high coming out of the draft. So anyway, point is, I've been watching a lot of Rockets. Um, and their offense is pretty wonky. I mean, watching them in the opener against the Thunder, just not a very smooth, cohesive offense, but just their rebounding and their tenacity and their grittiness keep them in games and kind of make them a strangely high-scoring team. Sangoon has looked pretty amazing. The shooting has been ridiculous. Um, I have it written down, but I think, he's shooting a completely unsustainable, like 50 or
Yeah, the first game of the season was absurd, where I think he dropped, he hit like six threes that game. I forget what his stat line was, but it felt like it was like a 50 bomb. So I imagine his stats were like a little inflated from that game, but like regardless, like the coming out party you expected this season for Şengün. And me too. I also love Şengün. It's been tough to like be as on the gas as you have been, but very much like the Şengün I was expecting out of him, even out of the draft. Like this guy's been awesome. The draft fit has been really nice too. I think our debate will continue as to who's like the top option on this team right now. For fun, I was looking at the usage rates on these guys. They're very similar. I think it was like Durant was like 26%, Şengün was 24, so like neck and neck. But obviously, like usage doesn't tell the whole story. The assists are way up for Şengün right now. He's definitely facilitating a lot, especially with Van Fleet being gone now. So this is an interesting team. This is an interesting team right now. I still like them, but you're definitely right that the defense and rebounding kind of has to keep them alive when the offense gets a little bit stagnant. Because yeah, it's like the point guard position is a little bit of a mystery. Our boy Reed Shepherd has not been as hot at the gate as I would have hoped, but he's been a bit of a traffic cone, unfortunately. I remember watching the first game of the season. It was just like every player they were targeting him and every play he was getting beat. And I was like, I could have swore I said this offseason that he was going to be an okay defender. And that very much was not been the case so far this season. But he's also a young player who got thrust into a massive role immediately. So we'll see. I'm still holding out hope. I'm not saying anything crazy about him yet, but we'll see. It does feel like the Rockets need a little bit of help in the passing department right now.
They for sure do. And in the shooting department as well.
Oh, of course.
It's brutal. I mean, like Dorian Finney-Smith has been out, so him coming back, at least, he's a super low volume guy, but at least he can spread the floor. But, when you've got your double big lineup, at least Sengun is shooting super well. I think he's 8 of 14, by the way, from three so far. Um, the free throw percentage has also gone up like 10%. So I think it's a bit inflated, but I'm loving that the efficiency has.
Keep in mind, they're like six of those threes for the first game. So that means he's like, and I think he almost hit all of his threes the first game. So he's probably like 2 for 13 then, like outside of the first game.
That's not how math works, is it?
No, that's not how math works. But yeah, would it be like 2 for
Two for
7 or 8 or something like that? I don't know. But it's very hot first game. Let's kind of see how that trends for the season. But he did look really good there. And he looked really confident too. He was like pulling it off the dribble. He was pulling it deep. And I was like, oh man.
That's what it
It's
is.
like I was like, it's over if he's hitting these every game. I do expect like a little bit of regression from three, but like it does feel like he's turning that corner right now. And clearly, like that 3-point shot is gonna get there at some point in his career. Feels like it might be right now. Let's see.
But yeah, as you touched on Reed Shepherd, obviously, we're both very hot on him. To me, he looks like someone who's not feeling very comfortable yet. I mean, this is a guy that they just sent to the G League a lot last year. They didn't incorporate really whatsoever into their rotation, which I thought was kind of not shitty, but I think they should have made way more of an effort to kind of get him reps
Mhm.
last year. And now I think it's hurting them early on, but I do have, I'm confident that he will kind of step up and kind of embrace his role. I think they just need to keep giving him the time, the reps. Um, he's shooting 35%. I think he is a 40% three-point shooter. Um, and he looks a bit nervous out there, driving, not making the right decisions. And I think that will get better, but I think there is also a bit of he isn't like a pure point guard. Even in college, I think he was kind of playing a bit more off of Dillingham. He's kind of a hybrid one and two, so I don't think he fully addresses their point guard needs.
Yeah, and the floor spacing I think also makes it a little more challenging. But it was very cool when the Rockets rolled out the tallest lineup ever, which was I think it was what Amen Thompson starting, and there was just Durant, Jabari Smith, Şengün, and then Steven Adams, which is ridiculous. Just pretty much everybody in the lineup is over 7 feet except for Thompson, who was like 6'6". But that was pretty cool. Yes, though, like it does make it so that when you sub in Shepard and still like Adams and Şengün on the floor, that the paint is gonna be clogged for him. It's gonna be a bit of a challenge to find openings.
Yeah, and it is a tough watch sometimes. Tari Eason too, like has definitely had his highlights and his lowlights so far this season.
Mhm.
Sometimes he looks a bit sloppy out there, not a super confident three-point shooter, but I think the percentages are fine, but I don't know. It looks like a mess at times, but then you kind of see that they're keeping up with every team they're playing offensively, so it's very strange, but
Yeah, and even like some of the advanced stats kind of like them. Like they're third in offensive efficiency in what seems like one of like the least efficient offenses ever. But I think a big part of that is like, yeah, they kind of gang rebound. They get a lot of second attempts, and that helps them out big time. So it's a weird thing where it's like you watch it and it's like, oof, like what's going on here? But they win games, they're competitive. A lot of the advanced stats are still in favor of them. So it works essentially, just very unorthodox.
and we're very familiar with the Ime Udoka offense and defense. It can be very frustrating
Totally.
at times. And we had a pretty hard time, but that team went to the finals. So
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you're kind of making this point, but like it does have a very similar thing where it's like the defense is awesome with the double bigs, but the Celtics had the same issue where it's like the fourth quarter would come around and the offense would implode on itself. And it does feel like this Rockets team is and like especially last year, 1000% was the case. Exact same as the Celtics. You hope Durant fixes it. So far, it does seem like it's helping. Like Durant's scoring is still 1000% there. So he's certainly not washed yet, which is huge for them. But yeah, it does feel like that's a bit of a staple of an Ime Udoka team is to have an electric defense, lots of bigs, questionable closing offensive strategies.
But yeah, Fred VanVleet I think is more missed at the moment than even I anticipated. I um Yeah, there's kind of a thing this year where with the Mavericks too, we're kind of realizing that the importance of a good point guard. Um, and that,
Yeah.
point forwards are great in theory, but like, you know, Amen Thompson can't really lead your entire offense or Sangoon. Like they are great passers, but to set up an offense, a lot of times you need a floor general, someone who's kind of really used to it and has that experience. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And that could very well be a transition to the Mavericks if you'd like to talk about them briefly. Kind of the overreaction here was like maybe Cooper Flag is not an all-star his rookie year, which is okay. That's all right. But yeah, he has not been very good to start the year. He looks good though. Like his highlights look good. He clearly belongs out there. But it's a challenging role and obviously just difficult being a rookie. Essentially being asked to shoulder an entire team's offense. So has been great. His stats have been 13 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 27% from three, 41% overall. Just not good. But some of the highlights look good though. He'll be fine. But yeah, worth noting. And then, yeah, overall, the Mavericks have not been great. Obviously, Anthony Davis got absolutely demolished by Wemby on opening night, which was a little bit eye-opening. I was like, all right, like maybe we overrated this team a little bit. Maybe the defense isn't going to be there enough to make up for some of the missing pieces like Kyrie and obviously them just losing Luka last year. So yeah, it's like I think originally when we were doing our power rankings going into the year, we had them around like 9 or 10, which feels correct. Down in the hot takes pod, which we cannot be held liable for it, so maybe I shouldn't even bring it up. But I was like, maybe they could be way better. This defense could be awesome. Flag could be awesome immediately. Not the case. They probably are a play-in team.
I think they will trend upwards. Um, there's kind of a couple weird things where, I mean, yeah, we have been reminded that Cooper Flag is like the youngest rookie ever. Um, and he's being thrown into this point guard role, which is kind of strange. And like,
Yeah,
you're getting Jason Kidd did this with Giannis. It really shaped him into a great playmaker. It's like, yeah, okay. But it does seem like they have a
he
pretty,
didn't do it to him as a rookie though. He's a rookie, and
yeah.
they did sign D'Lo. Now D'Lo's not great, but like I don't know, give him like a month or something first before making him play point guard. And he's just not a point guard.
It's strange. I think it is a bit
So
strange.
weird.
But I still like the depth of this team and man, it's like you have D'Lo, you have a pretty good point guard there. Um, so it's weird.
Yeah, and also it's like what's the point anyway? Because Kyrie's gonna come back around All-Star break. So what's the point in trying to ready Flag to play point guard if there's no chance he's playing point guard for the second half of the year and for playoffs anyway? It's like maybe this is just to be a learning thing. Maybe he does think the team is better with him at point guard. Could be the case. Looking how things are going right now, it does not seem like the team is better with him playing point guard. It does not seem like he's thriving in that position. So does not feel like it's the right call. Maybe it could be after enough time, but I don't know. I would definitely consider easing his burden a little bit, potentially putting D'Lo in there.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Some people are saying Jason Kidd is, trying to prove a point, um, that he's upset with Luca being traded, and he's kind of saying,
It's gonna
I don't know what
it's
the
gonna
theory
tank the
really is.
franchise.
Yeah.
It's gonna sink the ship.
But no, I stand on what we said in our hot takes episode, and I think in our rankings video, I did have them maybe as high as sixth. So I do believe in this team's depth. And I think things will kind of iron themselves out. I think Anthony Davis might have just gotten hurt. I don't know how bad it is, but
Classic. They do have a lot of big men depth at least, though. They still got Lively, Gafford. So he was out for a couple of games. That's fine. And I am overacting a little bit. They're 2-3. Flag will play better as the year plays out. They will get Kyrie back. So it feels like one of those things if they can just tread water until Kyrie gets back, they'll be fine. So
I agree.
yeah, it's not a disaster by any means, but definitely not the potentially exciting electric surprise start from the Mavericks that was possible.
Yeah, I think by playoffs, guys, I think people are really overreacting too hard with the Mavericks. I think,
Well, people just want to hate them so bad too. And like I'm like very willing to pivot here. Like at first I was like, all right, like maybe things worked out here. If the Mavericks are bad, I am totally down to just go full Mavericks hater again. It's very fun.
yeah, no, I hear you, and they're still chanting "fuck Nico." So, uh,
Yeah, I'm willing to get back on that bandwagon. I mean, I never left it, but been taking it easy on him.
yeah, it's still ridiculous looking back. Um, there's like a whole
Yeah.
tangent though, where like, no, I mean, just like the whole like Supermax thing in the second apron world. I think it does it nothing justifies the trade, but like, the financial. I think if the financial pressures weren't there, that trade might have not happened, or
I don't know. I think it was on a power trip.
perhaps.
Cause like,
Um,
cause like ultimately it's like, and we can't get back to a second, but like a super max player who's worthy of a super max is actually one of the greatest bargain contracts in the league. Because if there's no, let's say there's no salary cap, it's like guys like Luca aren't making 55 million a year. Like they'd be making like 100 million a year. It's like the value of a superstar player in the NBA is so much higher than really any other league except for maybe the NFL where the quarterback is so valuable.
mm,
But all I have to say is like I think it'd be pretty easy to mathematically justify. But
that's a
I
good.
digress.
Yeah.
Segue. Quick Lakers take. The Lakers are about as expected, but overreaction was do the Lakers have the coldest white boy duo in the league? I think for sure right now, like no doubt. Buzelis and Giddy, they were very fun. We talked about them earlier, but obviously Luka's missed some time, which really opened the door for Austin Reeves to go crazy. But I I could have never foreseen what Austin Reeves has been doing at the start of this season. Even with how good he was the year before, how much he's improved every year, just this like kind of awkward looking undrafted white dude. He's putting up, let's see, he's putting up 34 points per game, 10 assists. The 10 assists came out of nowhere. He's just been an insane passer. He had 16 assists the last game, 5.6 rebounds, 1.8 steals. Like that's a really nice number. He's shooting like 40 something percent from three. Like he's lights out from everywhere. I I just can't believe it. He's legitimately playing like a superstar right now. Passes the eye test. He just is, I think, which is very surprising. Like very rarely does it ever happen where an undrafted player hits the highs that Austin Reeves is right now. And yeah, and they get back Luka soon, and that's gonna be really fun to watch. They get back LeBron eventually. That's cool. Don't totally know how all that fits together now. It's kind of awkward. I'm not saying the Lakers are gonna be good by any means, but I'm just saying this duo is pretty awesome, and it's gonna be fun for the Lakers fans for a long time, I imagine.
And they seem to get along well. There's a lot of jabbing and
Yeah.
those two seem to get along very well. Yeah, it's weird because Austin Reeves is came in as an older rookie and now he's got to be like
He's
26,
27 now.
27. Yeah.
What's also insane is he's making like 13 million a year. Like I remember when he hit restricted free agency, everyone was like, "Who's going to bid on this guy?" Like, because like the Lakers essentially couldn't afford to keep him. It was like the most they could pay him was like 13 million, and people are like, "Who's going to match it?" Like there was like whispers like the Spurs were going to go up to like 20 million a year potentially for Reeves, and they were like, "No, we don't want to do that." So the Lakers just end up getting him for 13 million a year, which is actually the best contract in the NBA right now. It's ridiculous that he's essentially making nothing on this team. So very savvy move by the Lakers and Palinka.
But yeah, the jumps he's made each of the last 3 years is ridiculous. Just yeah, considering his age. Yeah, Austin Reeves. I think he had the 50 piece and then he followed it up with 40 something. Um, yeah, pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, that
The
he's
game
been
winner,
insane. That's kind
obviously, against the
yeah,
Timberwolves. Yeah.
yeah, he's been absurd. That's kind of my only note for the Lakers. Everything else on the Lakers has kind of been like as advertised. It's like A's been pretty good for them. Like I was talking about them. He's setting good screens. He's getting rebounds. He's kind of doing his thing. I don't think he's blown people out of the water by any means. He's had a couple of duds, but he's looked solid for them. But those are kind of my only notes on the Lakers right now.
Yeah. Lakers, as expected, I think they'll be a playoff team, but not
But
one,
barely. They'll be
but
playing.
barely.
They'll be
Yeah.
they'll be playing.
Um, I think we've kind of transitioned maybe more towards the underperformers.
Yeah.
We could give a quick shout out to the Warriors, maybe, who are off to a hot start. Kuminga looks great.
Yeah.
I just kind of have to do a quick victory lap. It's not really worthy of a victory lap. But I've been on this pod preaching Kuminga, and it's been one of the most brutal things I've ever had to live through in my 27 years of life. And finally, there's light at the end of the tunnel. He's buying into the system. He looks okay. So I'm happy we can move on if you want.
Yep, totally. No, yep, I'll just retweet. He's been really good this year. Let's keep it moving.
Just hoping it keeps up and that I can feel vindicated because I've been dying on the Kuminga hill. Anyway, who do you want to talk? I mean,
There's a team I've got left on here. I've got like a lot of notes for that I think are worth talking about.
me
How about
too.
we transition to the Magic?
That's who I was thinking. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because pretty much like this one kind of spiderwebbed for me because I started with Desmond Bain and like really my initial hot take was I was like, wow. I was like, I think the Grizzlies might have finessed with this trade. This trade actually looks really, really good for them. They got four unprotected first round picks and a pick swap for this guy. And he is good, but like I said, he looks like he's got short arms out there. I was like, even in like the hot takes video, I was like, I don't know about the Magic. I just don't like them. I don't like their vibes. They look good on paper. I'm not buying into it. And yeah, the vibes have been bad. The vibes have been bad. They're just disgustingly inefficient. So it's like Bane right now is averaging like he's averaging 17.6 points per game, which is fine, but 27% from three. He's a career 40% three-point shooter. So like that probably will go up. But like he's been disgustingly inefficient. Bankero has been really inefficient, which has actually been like kind of par for the course for his career. So like that's getting a little bit concerning. And I don't know. I just don't like the vibes. I just like they just put people out there and I'm like, ew. I'm like Wendell Carter Jr. is playing right now. Anthony Black is in the game, who's been fine, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like the Magic. They're not for me.
Yeah, similar to the narrative on Wemby going all of a sudden just to go an MVP. The Paolo narrative has also shifted very quickly. I think the catalyst being um Kurt Goldsberry, I think is his name. The
Yeah, and he's great. He's great. I love Kirk.
he was on the Zach Lowe show, and he kind of sounded the alarm, saying, pointing out the trend a bit with Paolo. Um, Obviously, I think he's 3 of 19 from three to start this season. He's shooting like 40% from the field. Um, the defense, I don't think, is particularly good. Um, Franz is the only one that looks great, I will say. Uh,
Franz looks awesome. Franz looks great. Your
and
boy. You've always loved him.
and there's kind of maybe people are saying, oh, maybe Franz is actually the better one out of the two. I think there is a lot of overreacting. There is a bit of panic selling right now. Um, I think we know Paolo is a great player. I think we know he's a shot chucker. Um, but I don't know. I feel like I'm here to say that I think it's more systematic than just Paolo and Bain. Like, I don't know. I think we should scapegoat Jamal Mosley, the coach, because I just don't understand how an offense can be so consistently bad over the past like 3 seasons.
Is he betting on the side? Can we check his extracurricular activities,
Investigate. Yeah.
perhaps?
I think Paolo has his fair share of blame, but like, I don't know. I think a lot of other coaches could make this work a little bit better, I think. And again, they're super inefficient. We don't think Bain is going to shoot, less than 35% on the year. Same with Paolo. He's going to bump up dramatically, but
Yeah, and I think the coaching's a good call out because especially after the investment they just made in Bain, they have to be a good team. And I think we had them around the third or the fourth seed going into the year. That would be the expectation. I think anything below five or six, if they're in the play-in, I imagine the coach is gone. especially after the front office and the ownership just invested so much in the team by getting Bane. Like they're done. Like their assets are gone getting Banes. Like this team has to be good. If it's not good right now, the coach is the next thing that has to change. So yeah, we'll see with that. Really rough start. The efficiency will go up, and the East is so bad that they're going to be higher than where they're at right now. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just don't love the Magic. I can't get behind it. And maybe it's also just one of those organizations where it's like the Magic are just never good. They're never good. It might not be meant to be.
I think they can turn it around. I like the roster. I think there's a massive hole at the center position. I think
Play Goga more. I do like Goga a little bit. I mean, he shouldn't start. They do need a better starting center, but
yeah,
I don't
because the
know.
Magic front court is literally not much better than the Celtics front court. And everyone is like the Celtics front court is so disgusting, and it is. But like Kata is probably better than Goga or Wendell Carter Jr. Um,
Potentially.
and I get they have Mo Wagner usually, but their front court is horrifically bad. Um,
Yeah, of teams trying to be good, it's easily the worst.
yeah, and it definitely doesn't get talked about enough. Um, I'm seeing all this stuff about the screenless offense. Have you heard about this?
Yep. I have heard about it. I know the Heat are going all in on the screenless offense. And what apparently the Grizzlies were super into it, but Ja didn't like it, so they fired the coach. That's the rumor I heard.
That's
But the
the
screenless offense is very good. Cool. It's very good for pace.
It's great for pace. Yeah, I think I'll have to kind of dig deeper into it, but I was
Right.
very intrigued by it. I'm kind of here suggesting maybe the Magic should get into it, but it's like yeah, I don't know. On a very surface level, I do think like maybe pick and rolls are a bit overused and like there are ways to seek mismatches that don't involve like stopping the play and having a guy come up and doing this whole like song and dance. Like I do think like yeah, the pace and space and kind of finding mismatches elsewhere is a very interesting concept. But that was kind of
Yeah.
like the thing that just suddenly popped up on my timeline, and I was like, oh, very interesting.
I don't know who started talking about it first, but all of a sudden it's been all over my TikTok feed. And yeah, it is interesting. It's a good point because the screens definitely do slow down the offense a bit. They stop people from doing a lot of north-south movement. And also defense have just gotten a lot better at defending screens. Like there's so much going on now, hedging, help off of screens, to where it has changed the dichotomy of how they're run. So I'm intrigued. I'm curious to see how it goes. I don't know if it's gonna be like a gimmick, kind of like the Wildcat in football a couple years ago, a couple
Hmm.
decades ago, I guess, or if it's gonna be like something that seriously starts being adopted more. But I'm taking notes. I'm watching it, and I know the Heat run it the most right now. So anyone who wants to see more of it, watch the Heat.
Yeah, I think the Heat are another team that's playing way better than expected thus far. But I think, yeah, their pick and rolls are so low compared to even the next lowest team. So
Yep.
it's a very interesting team. But I think something I saw was like it weirdly does lend itself to people switching onto better defensive matchups. Like I think there's kind of an irony where by setting the pick and roll, then I think I don't know, other players around can kind of quickly switch off of to mismatches that they might have had or I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
We just got a B-ball index membership, so we're gonna really dive into stats and get back to you guys on this stuff.
Yeah, maybe we'll do an entire episode on it. Who knows?
Any other teams you want to touch on? I would like to finish with the Celtics because they are my favorite team and I've watched every game, but we probably have time to dive into another overperforming or underperforming team if you
Let
have.
me do two mini ones. I think these are like pretty like standard reactions, I would say, but just fun ones to shout out. We can do like a minute on them. One of them were the Wizards, just like my overreaction is like there is light at the end of the tunnel for this team. They have young players who are showing promise. So Alex Sarr, who was somebody who was like a little questionable last year, it was really tough to figure out what was going on. It was like his draft process was kind of weird. He was inefficient and had a lot of turnovers as a rookie, although showed a little bit of flash, but he's just been straight up awesome this year. Like his stats are like very Evan Mobley-esque the first week into the season, which is kind of nuts. Who knows how well it'll sustain, but he's looked really legit. He's averaging 19.5 points per game, 8.8 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2 blocks. So just do it all kind of player. What was really surprising is, people were into him as this like big movable defender, but the scoring got there really quickly at about 20 points per game. And I didn't see the assists coming. The assists like also came out of nowhere, averaging almost 5 assists per game playing the big man position for the Wizards. So that's been really interesting. And then the other guy in the front court, Keyshawn George, is averaging 20 points per game, 9 rebounds, 5 assists as well, 1.3 steals, 1.5 blocks. So like all of a sudden they've got this like really interesting front court with these young guys who are efficient, good rebounders, good passers, good defenders, getting a lot of defensive stats. So it's fun. The team still sucks, but it's awesome that they have these guys because they've been dying to get anything out of their draft picks for the last couple of years, and it's been draft bust after draft bust going back for years. So very excited for the Wizards. I think that's huge for them.
Yeah, Keyshawn George has been awesome, and he's someone I kind of heard about. Towards the end of last season in fantasy, he had some really great games, and I kind of heard him talked about on podcasts. Um, and then anyway, he's just really breaking out. He's a ridiculously good shooter. He's a bit like Jalen Williams-esque. He exploits matchups. He'll get in down low and exploit matchups. Yeah, just an amazing rebounder for his size. He can pass a bit. So
Very
yeah,
interesting game too. Because like he's also someone who like plays a little bit slow, loves playing in the post, loves kind of like he loves his spin moves. I see a lot of spin moves out of this guy. Very unique game to watch, but unreal shot, great player,
he has
can
a
find his spots
strength.
super well. Like he's just like he's I love watching him. Super unique game.
Yeah, I think Bilal Coulibaly will no longer have his starting spot.
Yeah, he's cooked. So one Frenchman down.
Yeah, but Sar rises up, so we're still up. Um,
Yep.
Trey
I
Johnson, I think looking, he's par for the course, maybe 17 points or something.
love Trey Johnson. Yeah, it's like the only bummer with like Keyshawn George being so good. I'm like, no, it's less touches for Trey Jones because I was really hype on or Trey Johnson. Sorry, I was really hype on him, and he looks great. And like the 3 point shot looks awesome. The scoring looks awesome. As expected, the rebounding assists, pretty much anything other than scoring is not there right now. But he is interesting. So like another good looking pick for the Wizards.
And as a whole, this rookie class, I think we're seeing is pretty exceptional across
They're
the board.
awesome. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We now see that although Flag was the crown jewel, for all those teams that tanked out there, it worked really nicely.
except for the Nets, it's looking like they picked the five worst rookies, except Nolan Traore, of course, has yet to get real minutes. They're going with fucking Ben Sarath. Um,
So funny.
yeah, it might be because he's a better tank commander, but let's not talk about the
Very
Nets.
well could be. Here, as we're taking down, let's be quick with these ones. I got one other one that I want to shout out. That's Pelicans. Also just kind of like a neutral reaction. Really the only thing to say with that one is like, yeah, who would have guessed maybe don't trade your unprotected first round pick for Derek Queen. That trade is looking so bad right now. Even if Queen ends up being fine, they're 0 and 4 right now. Like they're they might win the lottery. They might win the lottery, and the Hawks are just gonna have their pick.
Ugh. And a draft class that's being touted as
Stacked draft
generational.
class. Yeah, we've
Um,
had a lot of generational draft classes as of lately, but like this one again looks like it's gonna be really good. So yeah, all-time bad trade. Everyone just knew it immediately, and yeah, it's bad. Because I was kind of like tuned into that. I was like, you know what? I meant to bring it up during the hot takes episode and be like, maybe the Pelicans do know what they're doing. Maybe Queen is phenomenal, and they just know it, so the pick doesn't matter. No, they're total dumbasses. This trade makes no sense. I cannot believe Joe Dumars has a job as a GM. So I imagine he will not have that job for too long. All right, Celtics.
Celtics, yeah. The Celtics are the team that I've watched every game of. Um, I don't know. I think the combination of not doing fantasy and also just this new look roster, there is such joy in watching them play, although they haven't been that great. Um, I don't even know what their record is. 2 wins, 1 win. Um, but it's the Josh Minot minutes, the why not, my not, Luka
Minot's awesome.
Garza. They're 2 and 3. But the offense is flowing, man. I think they're holding their opponents to the lowest field goal percentage in the league, Harry. Granted, they rebound at such an abysmal rate that it really doesn't matter. Um, yeah, Garza, I just have a fun time watching him play. He is barely a backup center. He has many flaws to his game, but I just enjoy watching him sprint up and down, just full throttle. Um, the Jaylen Brown hairline gate, Derek.
Incredible.
Yeah, that was.
Top storyline of the week.
It's funny because I feel like his hairline is fine. As a balding person myself, like just let it go, guys. Just let it go. There's no need to fucking spray paint on your head. I know the hairline, in the black community is very important, and I have the widow's peak, but like I don't know, just like a little bit of recession is normal. So bald
Yeah,
basketball
we
stand,
support. We stand with Jalen.
yeah. Um, and he took it well, and he did a Twitch stream where he cut his hair, and we love that for our boy Jalen. But all in all, the Celtics have been a pleasure to watch. I think they will make their way into the playoffs. Um, I like how they're playing, although, the roster is deficient in many ways.
Yeah, they've been really fun, and enjoying this Celtics team is what liking basketball is all about. Because one thing to like root for your team when they're doing well, that's always a fun subject line. But I'm having just as much fun watching this Celtics team as I had watching the championship teams. And I've mentioned it before, but like it feels very comparable to the team that we were watching a decade ago that was Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart, Kelly Olynyk. It's just fun to see guys out there wearing the green, being excited to play for them. You're
Hmm.
not knowing if you're going to win or lose every night. You don't really have those expectations. Like you get all like, whereas like when you know you're gonna be like a top seed, you're really just like going through the season, waiting for playoffs. But when you're not a playoff team, it's like every game matters. Every game is kind of exciting. And then even though there aren't huge expectations for the year, it's still very entertaining to watch. It's fun to scout these guys too. It's fun to see new faces in Celtics jerseys and be like, oh, even though this is a lost season, let's see if any of these guys might end up being important for us next year though. Like Josh Minot, like he looks really good. I'm like, oh, we might have never known that this guy was good if this wasn't a lost season. All of a sudden, this guy looks like he might be a rotation piece when we're back next year. Simons has been like pretty fun. Pritchard's awesome. Pritchard's always been really fun to watch, but it's just nice to get extended minutes with him. That's fantastic. Um, that's a great team. I love watching the Celtics right now. So, people are complaining out there when you guys don't have good teams. It's still awesome to watch them. Do not worry. You do not need a good team to enjoy watching basketball.
It might be easier when you've had the success and you kind of have this feeling that more success is not far away. Like we know Tatum is going to do
Yes, yes,
that.
very, very
But
privileged take on my part for sure.
but yeah, watching, even Hugo Gonzalez just guarding the best players on the other teams. One thing that's kind of been interesting is just seeing how I guess the stats don't always scale. Like Brown, Pritchard, White, I think are kind of averaging what they averaged last year. There isn't kind of that explosion in their stats that I sort of anticipated, and it's kind of I don't know, just like an interesting thing. Like I know Pritchard's kind of getting used to the extended minutes, but I was kind of like I actually didn't think Jaylen Brown was going to average 30, but I thought White and Pritchard were definitely going to bump up. But yeah, everyone's kind of stayed around their averages, I think. And then you have
Yeah,
other guys that have kind of, taken their points.
yeah. There's definitely a bigger role for some of those bench players who come in. So it is a little more spread out on the team. Even, or sorry, Missoula's still trying to run his usual offense. He's trying to jack up a lot of threes. So, and they're still playing team basketball out there. Because I guess that would be a concern that the Celtics are bad and Jalen Brown is just like, all right, I'm just going to take 50 shots a game and we'll be bad, but I'll get my stats and it'll be fun. But no, they're all trying hard out there. They're all playing within the system and it's a fun team.
And it's been a fun season. It's off to a great start. I'm excited to watch a bit of basketball before bed tonight. I don't think the Celtics play since they were on yesterday. Um, any closing thoughts, Harry? I mean, I'm loving the half court heaves. I think
Yep, that was a huge change. Thank God they changed that rule.
I don't think we talked about it on the pod, but I know there like Zach Lowe said it was he didn't like it because he thought, players shouldn't get this out and he loved the players that would just let it fly without caring about the
Yeah.
consequence. I get that point, but I think it was a rule that needed to change.
Yeah, for sure. It's ultimately one of those things where it's like people need to be taking those shots. Like those are important to take just in case they go in. So now you no longer have like a designated heave guy. Like it made no sense. People were just trying to protect their own stats. So yeah, get it out of there. That was a good change. Other than that, I don't think there are any like major notable changes to gameplay or schedules. And overall, it's been a very pleasant start to the season. Like I said, like at the start, like the scoring has been out of control. So like that's been really fun to watch. You never really know who's going to go off every night. So I'll kind of tune into some games as well. And with the way the season's been going, somebody's probably going to drop 40 or 50 tonight. So it's been great. And we're going to have tons of content to talk about because of it.
NBA Cup is starting tonight. It'll be interesting to see those courts. I still do not give a fuck about.
I can't believe how early it is into the season too. Like I thought it was supposed to be like later in the year, like kind of around like the midpoint. Like that's dumb. And I know we got to wrap this up, but it's too fresh. It's like it's the start of the season. The season itself is still exciting. We don't need the cup. The cup is stupid. Um, any other
Yeah.
closing thoughts?
I don't think we have time for them.
Okay, beautiful.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Check out our hot takes episode, guys. I thought that was one of the best videos we've done in a while. It flopped. Please go show it some love. Show this video some love. Like, subscribe. Peace and love, NBA fans.
Take care, y'all. Peace and love.
Peace and love.